Rajiv Shah has been the CEO of IBS since 2011. With extensive senior leadership experience in managing companies across the globe, including leading strategic business units with revenues of over $800 million. Rajiv has been a key driving force in the profitable growth of IBS over the last 5 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Rajiv Shah, our Chief Executive Officer.
Well, good morning. Welcome. It's great to be here, great to be part of this wonderful event. And thank you for the introduction, Pratati. You and your team have done an outstanding job in organizing these things. So before I get started, a question for you, just a raise of hands. When you walked into a hotel yesterday, how many did you get some kind of a welcome letter, welcome drink, something of that nature? How many of you remember there was a hotel chain in the US which used to, and it still continues to do, and gives you a hot chocolate chip cookie when you walk in? You remember the name of the hotel? Well, Peter, you're supposed to do that. DoubleTree, right? When you walk in, they give you hot chocolate chip cookie, and that was, my kids were young, that's what they were looking forward to, right? So why are we not staying at DoubleTree? No matter which hotel I take them to, so they wanted to go to DoubleTree, Hilton brand. But that's what they associate with, right? And since that day, the world has moved. I was reading a magazine, and I mentioned this to Rohit, Dr. Rohit, a couple of weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago when I went to Ithaca. There are 2 hotels in Dubai that have started this experiment, right? They give out a mango lassi or a bottle of water or directions to the airport and all this stuff when you leave the hotel, right? Think about how most of you don't remember even whether you received a welcome letter or not, or a welcome drink or whatever, right? So while people are trying to improve that customer intimacy when you walk in, the world around is changing. They said, I want you to keep that experience going back and remember that, hey, somebody thought about giving me a bottle of water, somebody gave me a cold drink while I was checking out, or whatever it is, right? And it's rapidly changing. We live in the world of not change, we live in the world of disruption. And I think that disruptions for the sake of disruption it could be constructive or destructive. And I was in Berlin, 3 weeks ago, and a major event happened around that time, the March 20th, 21st. One, in my view, again, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. American president visiting Cuba. The next day, there was a bomb blast in Belgium, right? Both in their own rights, disruption, right? One was somewhat of a constructive disruption, another was a destructive disruption. How do you distinguish between the two? As you look at your business models, what is constructive? What is sustainable? How are you going to, is it going to be incremental? Are you trying to change the industry in such a way that you disrupt the entire segment of the marketplace? And I think we live in that world. And disruptions, and I will spend some time during the panel as well, it has nothing to, part of it is technology, but part of it is really about the business and the business problem that you're trying to solve. Third event we are organizing, we had one in 2010 in Dubai, which was at a smaller scale. The customer forums were also organized. We had a couple of years ago in Kochi, where we had a large contingent of our clients visiting us as well. And this is a third in the row. Yep. The topic and the discussions were very healthy. At the same time, really leading at that point of time, but I think that world has moved in that 5 years and we start thinking about different sets of problems. Yeah? From the summit perspective, what we expect and what we like to do is really spend time on a lot of things that are happening. All of you are experts in the industry. We don't want to be an airline, we don't want to be a hotel, we don't want to be an oil gas company. Our objective is to provide solutions for you to achieve and get larger set of business benefits, right? So spend a lot of time not only listening to us, but talking to other sets of customers as well as partners that we have in understanding what are the business problems that they are solving. What are the challenges that they are facing in the marketplace, right? Identify some level of innovations or other sets of activities that are taking place, whether it's technology, whether it's business, whether it's people-related stuff, what kind of things that they are doing which could be maybe applicable to your business. Yeah? And this is really an opportunity for us to give you a feel of, there are various IBS sets of leaders that are here, giving you a perspective on what we do, how we do it, and what are some of the challenges that we see in the marketplace, as well as your ability to interact with the leaders. Now, the advantage of me being the first speaker, I don't have to worry about time, right? Right? I can speak as long as I want to, and somebody else will have to make it up, right? Or I can take less time, and somebody else will still have to make it up, right? But with that, I will try to stay within the time. Disruptions in our world are everywhere. And it is not just the travel, transportation, logistics industry, right? If you look at, we got the details from one of the surveys that how digital disruption is redefining industries, right? About 41% of the industry segments say that we understand, but we are not ready for it. And we don't know what to do, right? Our business model will change significantly in the next 5 years, but we still don't know what shape, form it's going to be and what do we need to do. And that's a large portion of industry. There are industry segments, is a 49%. Hospitality, retail, media, entertainment, financial services, CP, and manufacturing. There is the whole business model that they operate in is going through a huge transformation, right? Then there are other industry segments which are below 41% less mark. They think that they are able to understand they are at a less risk because they have made some changes in their business model, the customer behavior is changing and all that stuff. They are at a lesser risk. And then you have one of those guys. But interesting thing is 75% of those industry segments out of 941 leaders that we talked to, right, or the survey included, more than half of them were denying the fact that there is a significant change that's taking place. Other half were said, okay, we'll see whatever happens, right? And it's a large number which worries us. At the same time, keeps us honest about the solutions that we bring to the marketplace. When I was studying at University of Missouri, Rolla, right? This was long time ago. Let's not talk about the year. Right? Used to give my roommate $5 for him to take me to St. Louis to buy some Indian groceries and all that stuff. Right? I used to share an apartment and all that stuff. So the business model is not different. I have a friend who lives in Augusta, and some of your golf fanatics, they have a house right across on the 8th hole or something, right? They rent out their house every 2 months, and they've been doing it for the last 15 years, right? So sharing economy is not a new concept. It has been happening for a long time. How people have taken advantage of that sharing economy, whether it's a car rental, whether it's a sharing of apartments, or whether renting out the house, or paying guests or something, it has been there for some time. How people have utilized that for the benefit and created a business model out of it is a big disruption that's taking place. So the concept by itself is not new. It is the taking advantage of the customer behavior, buying habits, to technology, working with various sets of individuals, to different sets of cultural aspects, has really driven the next level of business model that has been created. All of us know about TripAdvisor, right? When TripAdvisor started, Koffer and Steirat and other sets of investors, the initial goal was to collect all the reviews from the business magazines, travel magazines, hotel magazines, or whatever, right? And get some set of data from the surveys that most of the hotels and airlines do, right? While it was doing reasonably well, that's how the business model was initiated. One fine day, somebody had an idea, why don't we just ask people to provide input to that feedback that they provide? Suddenly, the whole thing got exploded. They have 360 million plus reviews that are taking place. There are sets of, and all of us, before we travel, we look at TripAdvisor. They have shared model. They give you, put it to the right link as far as what are the best rates, what are the top 5 in the specific geographies. The business model has, so we used to have word of mouth about, oh, I stayed at that hotel, I liked it, I didn't like it, the kids love the DoubleTree, chocolate chip cookie, whatever. Now they have formalized that process and expanded that business model to the next level of growth and maturity, which is a disruption. So it's not the concept itself, it is the execution of that concept, and that's the world that we live in today. At the same time, right, while we had a very healthy discussion with Rohit, Float, Peter, we were preparing for the panel discussion this afternoon, right? Whenever we talk about innovation or disruption, people always immediately think of technology. There is much larger space in business process, people behavior, leadership skills that are required to implement those disruptions. And people tend to ignore those aspects of things, right? At the same time, there are things that are happening outside of our world, right? 3D printing. GE aircraft, most of you have heard of General Electric, right? One nozzle, it takes them about 18 different manufacturing sites. 18 different manufacturing sites today, right? Because of the composite material that is required to doing the testing, to really evaluate the quality standards from different things and all that stuff. They implemented a 3D printing concept for their aircraft division, right? Because of their ability to visualize the things and create the prototype and build that, they are able to cut down the time that it takes to build a part by almost half. The quality has improved significantly. And it's just one 3D printing concept. And implementation of that in their own environment is really resulted into a significant change in the business behavior. Right? Most of you have heard of Hyperloop. A gentleman named a billionaire investor, Flux, started with he got tired of this California railroad systems or the concept that they had of a high-speed train between the two cities, and he started talking about Hyperloop. Right? Uber is today building the capsules, or at least conceptualizing the capsules to be utilized for transporting people between San Francisco and LA. 700 miles an hour. There are investors with $80 million, $100 million. A company called Hyperloop Technologies have hired a Cisco head, Uber guy, Airbnb individual to run that organization. There is a significant, and it is a complex set of technology. The sound barriers to material that needs to be used, heat management, environmental friendly, magnetic, whatever tracks that need to be built. It is highly complex, but it's coming. Now, why am I bringing this? It has an impact on how we do business, travel, transportation, logistics. Just think about General Electric. 18 different manufacturers to build at just one nozzle, right? Just imagine having at one location. What impact will it have as far as transportation of goods? Will it have an impact? Maybe not, maybe yes. If Hyperloop comes into existence, people are traveling at whatever 700 miles and I can make the trip in a day, right? Will I require a hotel that night? Maybe not. I can come back after finishing up my meeting instead of taking it. Things are happening outside of the technology, outside of the immediate set of disruption that we are thinking about, which has a larger impact on the industry that we serve. And I think we need to be cognizant of that. Whether this is going to materialize in the next 2-3 years, the answer is no. Is it a huge set of investments that's going into these areas? All of us felt, sort of, who will talk about a crew member utilizing an iPad or a truck driver at Qantas Freight utilizing iPad to locate a package? At least 3 years ago, 4 years, Ashok and Matthew are here. We had not envisioned a truck driver or truck individual in Qantas Freight. It takes them 40 minutes to find from getting the invoice to collecting the part and returning it back 40 minutes compared to 4 hours. We had not envisioned that thing 4 years ago. We had not envisioned the crew members changing the rosters on a mobile phone to whatever 5-7 years ago. We had envisioned, but at least we didn't think that it was going to be that fast. The reason I bring up that this is happening, people are investing in this area. It will have an impact on what we do, and how we look at the future. So while we try to solve the immediate issues, immediate challenges, immediate technology disruptions that are taking place, business disruptions that are taking place, don't lose the sight of the future and where we are heading. One can sit and accept the fact. We can ridicule, whoever that was, not going to happen. Maybe not in my lifetime, right? I want to leave you with one data point. There was a recent article in Newsweek about 3 weeks ago, right? When a lot of people take credit about who invented internet, right? Including the ex-presidential candidate Al Gore, right? But so there is still that debate going on who it really invented it. But the real intent of internet, has it met its objectives? And the answer was no. More than 75% of the activity that's happening on internet is to download the videos, some cases porn, some cases just downloading general set of information. Only 3% of the traffic, 3%, is used for exchanging messaging, information, and email. And this was the survey that took place in Newsweek, I think it was Newsweek or Business Week, one of the two, had 3 weeks ago. Now the reason I bring it up, most of the time the technologies that you have intended for it to be utilized may not be get utilized. But just think of the other side of it. If that 3% becomes 5% or 7%, 3%, we're still finding a challenge to get the customer data, customer information, to keep real-time update, to provide better customer centricity. With 3% of utilization for exchanging information, data, we have this many issues, right? Just think about that number becoming 5% and 7%. What impact will it have? What kind of infrastructure will be required? What data you need to collect? What is the explosion of information that's going to be around us? And I think it's real. So one can accept it, we can respond it, we can discuss it, we can ignore it, and still feel that things will be hunky-dory and let's see somebody else try it out. But these are real issues, real challenges. Technology is changing so fast, business disruptions are taking so fast, and I think it's important for us to not lose sight of it. Given that I've taken more time than I had expected, somebody else will have to make it up as well. But we have a very interesting set of discussions taking place. We have very esteemed panel. Every time I see Dr. Tharoor, I don't know where I get a conflict whether he's politician or a Bollywood star. So, but we have a real star in Dr. Tharoor here, Harish Menwani, who was Chief Operating Officer of Unilever, as well as now advisor to Blackstone, and playing critical role as we go our journey to the next level. We have various sets of customers as part of the panel discussions that have come in. Float, Rohit, Steve, everybody, Dr. Scholes, Roger, I can't name all of them, but we have a very esteemed panel with a lot of experience that's going to be available to all of us, and it's going to be an exciting time for the next today and the individual forums that we are going to take. We're starting out with our theme address by our chairman, the guy who dreamt about these things 16, 17 years ago and saw all these challenges that are going to come our way and thought about building solutions and create a disruption in the marketplace. Mr. V.K. Matthews will be here following me. Dr. Tharoor will talk about innovations as well as his knowledge of the world. And of course, Harish Mindwani in the afternoon after around lunchtime, turbulent times. So we have quite a bit of discussions taking place. So I not only request but challenge all of you to keep an open mind, think about where we are, what we need to do, how we're going to address it, whether we need to solve it today or not, or whether it's going to come 5 years down the road. But it is an exciting time. If you think of disruption, if you think of technology as a nuisance, then we'll have a challenge. Think of a change, and the change is going to happen whether you like it or not, right? When I hear one of our airline customers thinking about matching Facebook profiles so I can sit next to the person who has the same likes and dislikes as far as movies and videos and all that stuff. Maybe sometimes I don't want to sit next to that person because there are two like-minded individuals. But even that long flight of 4 to 5 hours, sharing some level of common interest makes that journey bearable, right? So things are moving. Your competition is not going to hang around. So with that request, enjoy. There is a lot of things that are going to happen. I think the team has done a wonderful job, but I welcome all of you on behalf of IBS. Thank you for being here.